Okay, time for 3.3, the finale of the Dragon Soul War. And then we get on to the last two patches that gets prequel to Stormblood. I'll be still as a paladin because that's how I rolled during this time. I was really heavily into my paladin. My bard, I think it was secondary because I kind of put my summoner and scholar in the back burner for the time being because I was enjoying these jobs. So I was actually starting getting my jobs up to level 60 at the time being. Ah, Master Turdell. It is well that you're here. You are wanted within. I believe Master Alphino wishes a word with you. Ah, Galleon, there you are. Have you a moment? There is something I would discuss. I ask that you recall the events which unfolded at the Peace Conference, though I dare say we would sooner forget them. My mind returns again and again to the moment when Nidhogg appeared before the crowd in guise of the Estidian. It was a sight to chill the soul, but one which gives me reason to hope that our friend might not be beyond salvation. When he described his faithful transformation at Al-Zazla, I fear him lost forever, but the mere fact that some semblance of his former self endures must certainly account for something. Alas, I have no evidence to support this impression. This I did turn to Y'shtola and cry out for a more emphatic phrasal, and full glad I am I did that. I did, for that it seems they have observations of their own to share. The ladies have saved us the table at the Forgotten Night. Shall we go? Excellent. Let us not keep our honored colleagues waiting. Right. Oh shit, that's pretty good. Huh. That's cool. Cryo.
We have kept you waiting over long, I fear.
Not to worry, Alphino. We had some rather fine mulled wine to keep us company. Truth be told, you could have delayed your arrival a few moments more.
They're having a ladies' night.
Gibrion got the spicing just right this time. His latest batch is not only delicious and warming, but soothing to the humours.
Watch it, the women are getting frisky.
Indeed. But 'twas not to soothe our humours that we gathered here.
Ah, no, quite right. The matter of that poor dragoon.
You have discovered something. A means to save him?
Let us not jump to conclusions, shall we? Assess the facts presented, then make an educated analysis, as you were taught.
Pray, cast your mind back to the moment of Estinian's transformation. Do you recall how you described it to us?
Well, he grabbed one eye, grabbed another eye.
You spoke of the sudden pangs which racked his body when he took up both of Nidhogg's eyes, and of how his form was twisted thereafter into a shadowy semblance of the Great Worm.
Well, when he transferred into Nightmare.
When he appeared at Falcon's Nest, the worm's eyes were fused to his mail.
Would that only his armor had been corrupted. Snaking forth from the eyes, I descried dark tendrils which entangled his very being. His ether has been all but smothered.
Then he is lost to us forever?
Oh yeah, I should probably check that.
What did I just say about jumping to conclusions? Y'shtola clearly stated all but smothered. As I later discovered, her impression matched my own. Though Nidhogg's presence filled my mind's eye, beneath his seething aura, I sensed the merest hint of something else. And after listening to Y'shtola's observations, I became more certain of my suspicion that the something else I had sensed was, in fact, the trace of a different will, submerged in the sea of Nidhogg's rage.
Aye, Fury?
You mean...
Yes, 'tis like that Estinian spirit yet lingers.
Can we not wrest him from Nidhogg's grasp, then? Tear the eyes from the armor?
We know not if that would serve to separate Worm's soul from man's. None have ever attempted such a feat.
Should it offer even the faintest hope of success, then by the gods, I shall be the first to try.
Alphino. By all means, hold fast to your hope, but be mindful of the dangers. Even should you succeed in excising the eyes from the Dragoon's mail, we have no way of knowing if your friend's soul would survive so violent a separation. And that is to say nothing of the possibility that his would-be savior might become Nidhogg's next host.
But what other choice remains to us? Should the opportunity present itself, I will tear those foul orbs from Estinian's armor and trust in the resilience of his soul, even at the risk of mine own.
Ah, I found you at last.
I don't know, what did Million do?
A messenger of the Temple Knights came to the manor some few hours past. The Lord Commander humbly requests the company of the Warrior of Light and Master Alphino.
Sir Emmerich would speak with us. Very well, thank you, Onawa.
'Twould seem duty calls. Pray see to yours, and we shall return to ours.
Thank you, Y'shtola, Kryl. Your words have given me hope where there was none. Come then. Sir Emmerich awaits.
Alphino is allowing his feelings for this Dragoon to cloud his thoughts. I worry he may do something rash. Keep an eye on him, would you?
They think more of their friends' deliverance than their foes' defeat. But will history commend their fealty or condemn their folly?
I don't know. Alexander, what do you think? Sonic Boom! Sorry.
The conference held at Falcon's Nest was to be a celebration of the reconciliation twixt man and dragon. But the lingering shade of Nidhogg, clad in the flesh of the Azure Dragoon, did mark the occasion by spilling the blood of his own kind. A timely atrocity to remind the children of Ishgard that the Dragonsong War was far from over. And when fear gave way to fury, the call to arms rang out anew. Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg!
What news has Sir Amrag to share with us, I wonder? Might Sir Amrag perchance have received word of Dravani in advance? Or mayhap they have located his stick, that is to say, mayhap Nidhogg has been found. Come, I would hear that the Lord Commander has to say. It's Nidhogg! Even he admits it. It's like Nidhogg.
My friends, I thank you for coming.
You have had news of Nidhogg?
Alas not. Our scouts range far and wide, but they have as yet found no trace of the Great Worm.
We dispatched an elite unit of dragoons to reconnoiter the churning mists, but even they returned empty-handed.
A pity.
Fear not, Alphino. We shall see the worm again soon enough. His words at Falcon's Nest attest to that. Indeed, he is like to come sooner than we would wish.
I assume Ishgard's defenses are being bolstered as we speak?
With all haste. I mean to call upon every able-bodied warrior at our disposal, from the Knights of the Four Houses to the men and women of the Watch. But I did not summon you to discuss strategy.
What then would you have of us, my lord?
I will speak plain. Now that Nidhogg is possessed of both of his eyes, no mortal force we can muster will repel him. That being the case, we must needs recruit an ally of equal strength.
You speak of Hraesvelgr?
I do. To whom else could we turn?
That he is Nidhogg's equal I do not deny, nor can I name another. But convincing the reclusive creature to do battle with his own brood brother will be... how shall I put this?
Not gonna happen!
It will be no small undertaking, yes. Estinian's report was most particular about Hraesvelgr's unwillingness to involve himself in the affairs of men. But much has changed since your visit to Somal, and if there is even a chance that the dragon may be swayed, I must plead our case. Whatever price the dragon asks of me, I shall pay it. Such was my oath, to defend the people of Ishgard. Come what may, my friends, the battle with Nidhogg will mark the end of my tenure as the acting head of church and state. Will you help me discharge this final duty?
We will, my lord, though I fear our involvement offers no guarantee of success. Come then, we will depart at your leisure.
Thank you. Both of you. The city is yours, First Commander.
My lord, we shall pray for your swift return.
You know, thinking about Lucia, since she's Garland, I wonder what she feels about an Endwalker. Because her homeland's pretty much destroyed. I know she says she has no love for her country. Well, she does, but not as used to be, but... It grieves me to impose you in this manner, but you of all people understand the threat we now face. It's no imposition, Sir Emer. Segalia and I escorted the second home. Practically. After the main battles we have fought and the bonds we have forged, the plight of your nation has become our own. If there is not aught we can do to aid in the salvation, then pray and impose all you must. Here are true friends. Shall we be about our task then? We have no way of knowing when the Hog's shade will strike, but we must assume our town is not our ally. Indeed, with that in mind, I have taken the liberty of dispatching a messenger to inform Mistress Taru that you're escorting me to Psalm Hall. I confess, I did not provide the exact details on our destination, as they are yet unknown to me. We will summon Hausvalger as seen as entering this, or we will begin our ascent. However, I think it's best we pay a visit to Axe Trim. You seek an advantage of the coming negotiations? I do. I would consult you with Heavenward. I propose this in part of a concern for her condition, where she is to succumb to her wounds. It could have great consequences for our alliance. That apart, she may provide insight to her sire's current state of mind. All reason to the Devonian Fortlands then. My break just shut down. Hang on, hi. Loading, please wait. Yeah, I'm really hoping I'm finish up Heavenward tonight, and maybe we get into a little bit of Stormblood tomorrow. Ah, 'tis the warrior of warriors and his companions. What bringing us to my abode? Pray forgive us for disturbing your recuperation, Vanifar. I hope your wound does not pain you overmuch. Thus do you imagine me close to death? The thrust was deep, but not mortal. It will heal in time. Full glad that I hear to it. You are the guest of honor at our conference, and we failed on our duty of protection. On behalf of Ishkar, I apologize unreservedly. I'm a dragon full-grown, and thus you thought to protect me, mortal? I was tempered by the fires of fire ere thy great grandsire learned to crawl. Thy words do remind me of a knight whom I call a friend some 1,000 years past. He swore to defend me from harm and hardship. Would that we could return to that era of peace, when man and dragon knew such comradeship. Would that our ever to do so were not undone by ancient rancor. For a truth, there can only be no peace while Nidhogg's shade yet lingereth. That is much plain, yet we lack the strength to banish him. Thus we do make for some law to beseech the aid of your sire once more. Folly, though not as well as I know, he will answer. Hausvalger's heart remains unchanged then, a pity. But if it is folly to hope, I'm content to die a fool. As hath been the way of thy kind, go then, but be warned, the Shade's presence has driven its minions to frenzy. Thank you, Vanifar. We shall just disturb your rest no longer. Though I expected no better answer from Vanifar, I take little pleasure in having been proven right. It would seem our presence at Zenith will be a bit as unwelcome as I anticipated. But what is the ire of one great worm to trio of self-confessed fools such as ourselves. Let's begin our ascent. After you, Master Alpha. Just go ahead if you wish, Galleon. We shall join you outside in Monaco. I think after this patch, I think the Moogles were released. And this is part of the patch. Because they get recognized by the Ishgardians. They're like, oh, Moogles are here? I heard tales of the worlds above the clouds, but never I did dream. One's wings paints a pale picture of His Majesty. Few live to see such wonders. I am reminded of my first visit to this peak, when Estinian and also yet walk by our side. Kubo? Is that you, Galleon? Ah, visit Mog, Don't tell me you forgot my name, Kupo. After all we've been through together. They all look alike. Sorry to be racist. At least you remember me. You do remember me, don't you, Galleon? Moglan's the leader, Moghan. I had to choose Moglan, I effed it up. Whew! You seem a bit hesitant for a moment there, but I'm sure you were just finally recalling the time we camped near Zenith, right, Kupo? But put our shared history on one side. What brings you and your friends to Mogholm, Kupo? Ah, another audience with old Housefolger. Well, I hope you brought the horn, Kupo. With all the winds as gentle as they are, a good loud toot should reach the Great Worm's ears easily, though. Enough. That's good to hear, Maho. Thank you. We best press on to Zenith while the winds are in our favor. Now that was unexpected, Kupo. Chief Moglen will want to hear about this. Ugh. Heads up, apparently winds are picking up around here in my area, so if some reason I get disconnected, that'll be the reason why. I'm just hearing the winds roaring outside my apartment. I'm like, yeah, I won't be surprised if I get a power outage for some reason. Okay, time to toot the damn horn. Still, like, tastes like Moogle's ass. Oh, man. Soup's still freaking hot. What do you assholes want? How many times I tell you, get off my damn yard. You dare send me again, mortals?
Great Hraesvelga, 'tis not lightly that we beg this audience. Pray hearken to our words, for they concern the future of man and dragon both.
Greetings, Hraesvelga. I am Emeric de Burrell, acting ruler of the nation of Ishgard. I am come before you to parley on behalf of my people.
To parley? Thing is, though, purpose unclear to me. Though, or to come beg my aid in battle against the shade of my brood brother.
You foresaw mine intent.
Aye, but read that which is written plain in thy eyes. Would that thou had will enough to describe the answer in mind. Me beloved Shiva did once build a bridge twixt man and dragon, a bridge which treacherously forefathers saw fit to tear down, as we well knowest. Think as though Nidhogg was alone in despairing the murder of my brood sister. Think as though mine soul did not cry out for vengeance. Know that upon that accursed day my heart did wither in my breast, and thy kind become unto me the harbors of despair. 'Tis only Shiva's gentle dream that prevents me from flying at Nidhogg's shoulder. Be grateful that I swore of her aggression ere I consumed her. I prevent my children to offer or deny thee aid as they see fit, to warn thy people of my brood brother's coming. Thou wast to ask more of me, but affirmeth thy incurable arrogance.
We understand that in your despair at man's betrayal, you seek only the refuge of solitude. But despite your protestations of spent faith, do you not still nurture the smallest flame of hope?
Here's though such light in dusk of my existence.
I do. If you claim I see falsely, then tell me, why did you consent to bear a Zell upon your back?
Yes, so Pietas deluded yourself. The child did lament her past sins and sought to balance the scales with her remaining days. 'Tis her unquenchable passion, so unlike that of my beloved, which did spur me to flight. And for my own part, I would countenance no longer the hands of evil men to soothe my brood brother's eye for ill.
So you do distinguish between those who acknowledge and repent their sins and those who perpetuate them. Interesting. It seems to me that you have not, in fact, lost faith in mankind as a whole. Rather, you weigh our respective merits by how we allow the past to influence our future.
Spare me thy idle philosophy. Even though there are a multitude of truth in thy reasoning, what of it? Wouldst thou have me slay my own sibling to save a city of mortals?
Should we suffer ties of blood to bind our hands, then? Nay, if the crime is one of unconscionable evil, we must needs condemn it, even should the transgressor be our closest kin. When my father corrupted himself and his followers with the power of a primal, I beseeched the warrior of light to slay him, an act alike to patricide. That he did not die by my hand matters little. If anything, it heaps greater disgrace upon my name. But had my father not fallen, he would have drawn countless thousands into a holy war of hellish proportions, which I hold the greater crime. Thus did I order his execution, sparing the lives of my people and yours. Alas, your brother Worm now prepares to murder those whom I sought to spare. What is more, he has taken my comrade's body for his own. But if I must slay my dearest friend to defeat my direst foe, I will not flinch from my duty.
So, was strike down on thy friend and, by example of thy righteousness, persuade me to break my oath and kill my kindred? Midi. Stop being a bitch! Heed me, my child. The serve as a Highland envision a different outcome. The intended salvation not only for Ishgard, but for the doomed Dragon Slayer as well. When the hell you have a pocket dragon? This was a shade to be Nidhogg's return. Okay, just making sure he's not saying English. This was a shade to be Nidhogg's return. Is it not merely a manifestation of his vengeance? A shadow cast by thy brood brother's rage? I would not recommend thee, but ponder well thy course leads thee unto greater remorse. While the shade of ages remains, the future will never be uncertain. Help us save our companion. There's I'll choose this one. Those who rescue the dragon from its fate along with all the rest, I do begin to see why you so trust your hope unto thee. Thy purpose is pure, but so too is my brother's wrath, and 'tis that which lendeth him his all-surpassing might. Thou hast the strength of will to stand against a terrible shadow, I wonder. 'Tis seem I must put thee and thy companions to the proof. I shall await thee in the ruins where Rastrak once dwell. Heed well the words of my children. Hasten thee to the place of thy trial. My people need me. Whoop. Moogles. I believe I spy a wyvern lantern just outside the palace. It is doubtless one of the children whom Halsvogr spoke. Come, my friends, let's not keep our escort waiting. She must be reliving her episodes too. A lot of us should go and do Game Plus on this. Which is kind of expected, honestly. My roommates and I will bear you to the place of your trial. Make your preparations. I got one more dungeon after this, and I gotta actually group up because the last dungeon, I'm not gonna able to solo that one. Because there's two bosses. Hurt. And Stormblood, I gotta force myself though. Yeah, because the final dungeon, one boss, his tank buster hurts. Normally it would be like, oh, you only take 10,000. For some reason, the damage when you solo at a high level it scales some reason. And so I ended up taking normally a 10,000 damage tank buster to a 50,000 or so. Yeah, not a thing I should be taking heavily like that. And the final boss, well, if I actually don't DPS him fast enough, he's gonna do an ability that locks me down and will instinct kill me. Which I can't do a thing about it unless I have someone actually help me break it out, but nope, ain't happening. Whee! I'm wasted. Swords for days? Swords for days. Not to mention, taking a little bit more time on this now. The zone is really beautiful, though. The dungeon, at least. So Moglin shows up. This is as far as you go going, and you in a ridiculous like acid, me, Kubo. And same as, King Mugabog, but there's a catch. That. And you can't have him in there or else he's gonna, resurrect him. Kubo, that's enough. You made your point. This isn't a fight to death, Kubo. People always run through this shit. Oh, I remember this friggin' boss. Oh, how bad of a group I always get into. I always get people always stacking onto the clouds, or they end up breaking these damn things. Because he will dash across the thing and he'll destroy the barrier slowly. And people always like did this, and then he destroys the barrier right there. Okay, let's come over here. Actually, I wonder how much damage it'll take that. Oh, not so bad. As I say, you know, he's destroying the barrier as we go. And then the tank has to reposition in the middle, straight in the middle. And here's the clouds I mentioned. Which was a bad placement, if I say so. What are you gonna do? Hit me, mommy. Like I said, he'll slowly destroy this field. And electrical damage is ridiculous at this point when you're at this level. When you actually first start the dungeon at the current iron level, it really hurts. So if a caster took a little damage and they step in that, yeah, they're gonna die within 6 seconds if you don't get them healed up real quick. The problem is you're trying to keep your tank alive, though. Yeah, I'm doing some bad times. Does weather my trials thus far, but I'm not convinced. I will try by limits. Stormblood's gonna get really interesting. Nidhogg will spare no clemency, and they're not my side. Yeah, Stormblood's gonna get interesting because I actually went tank, and I was kind of intermingling my summoner and scholar, just because, you know, DPS, healer, and a tank. Especially how Stormblood launched. Ugh, that was horrible. Because everyone went as a DPS. And yeah, healers and tanks. Well, especially tanks. Tanks had it good. Getting Qs. Don't worry, show me the strength of this range of eye. And thy frail mortal shell. Tank Buster. Yeah, he has a 1-2-3 Tank Buster ability. Woo! Normally, you kill the little sprites, you get a limit break up. But since we don't have a group, no limit break. That's all our firewall, but I can't use it until the bitter end. Thanks, Buster. Over here. Stay the hell over here. Someone accidentally goes to a platform. In D&D terms, freaking Houselogger is pretty much classified as a freaking holy dragon. take the next trial. I don't know if I can solve it or not. It's probably gonna be tough. Even before my brood brother was a fearsome foe indeed. But I hadn't tested the dice training firsthand. Full well I can imagine how this bringing him low. The dread title of Azure Dragon is no empty alienation. Very well, I shall trust in the seed of man one last time. By thy day shall the flickering hope that lingers yet within my heart be kindled anew, or extinguished forever. Well then, we have no choice in the matter. Your trial is as well then. Oh. He was talking.
Mine was brutal beyond reckoning. Vedfalnir seems ill-acquainted with the notion of mock battles.
That yes stands very proof of your determination, mortals. Let us fight as allies then, and together banish my brood brother's vengeful shade. On my oath, the wrath that was once known shall meet its end. This I swear in memory of my beloved Shiva and the soul of the lost yourself. Oh, my poor ribs. How Slogger saw fit to pair me with a van for, where ferocity was such that I began to wonder if I hadn't simply imagined her injury. Yet my trial pales in its significance next to yours. How far in your duel with Slogger? I think this that your battle was more than involved in my own. Vendor Flower seems largely concerned how long he can keep me rolling in the dust between dodging, snapping fangs, and slashing claws. I scarce had time to aim a blow. Had he truly meant to harm me, of course, I would not be standing here now. Apparently, his intent was to teach. His onslaught forced me to recall my training with about the speed of the dragon, his balance, and his blind spots. It was, in short, a very thorough lesson. Oh, Kupo! Gallant, let me begin by congratulating you on the completion of your trial. For one with a name before befitting a jester, you fight with the savagery of a rabbit demon. Do you see how my wings are kinked? Even my palm aches. After this dropping, I fear my royal subjects will have to bear the load of my personal chores for quite some time, Kupo. Possibly indefinitely. Lazy bastard. What? When I told you about Gallia's trial, I didn't mean for the rest of us to suffer. That is triple shifts for you, Moghan. Poor triple? But that's not fair! There is no justice, Kupo. None at all! I love the movies. Such lazy bastards.
Our negotiations proved rather more strenuous than I had anticipated, but the results seem well worth the effort.
The battle was indeed hard won. Thank you, my friends. I would never have earned Hraesvelga's cooperation had you not seen fit to grant me yours. 'Twas your stalwart heroism that moved the heart of the Great Worm at the last. Any gratitude I can offer is but poor reward for your continued service to Ishgard.
'Twould seem our final reckoning with the dread worm is at hand. I only wish we had some inkling as to when he means to strike. Oh, gods.
Not this long.
The cry heraldeth his coming. Nidhogg's shade hath taken wing.
It has begun. We must away to Ishgard.
Ishgard will not last long against Nidhogg and his horde. We must away. Zero, folks, we're giving this or something. No, you, then. What is the Roth progress?
I must return to my city without delay.
Then we shall lend you our wings. Let us meet with Nidhogg on the field of battle and together bring an end to this wrathful song. This is like the most epic fucking cinematic of this way. Yeah.
Remember your training! We hold fast until the Lord Commander returns. Ugh. We must hold!
Yeah, this whole bridge is going to hell. suck though, getting tossed aside like that. Like grab, toss.
Reinforcements! By the Fury, that one is the size of Nidhogg.
Lord Commander!
You are late, Warrior of Light.
Well, excuse me, Princess. We're gonna stand still with these vermin, brother. And bend this ward shade. The suffering of those so is served through no end. The predator's progeny have learned of their forefathers' betrayal and seek to make amends with our kind. Never shall our grief be expunged, nor loss forgotten, but reconciliation as it may yet help to spread this plague of enmity. Forsake thy vengeance and be at peace. What soft-headed ramblings are these? Thy indulgence with a vile maid has robbed thee of thy wits. Mayhap their cooling perfume has made thee forget the stench of our rude sister's lifeblood. Oh yeah, he's talking smack about his woman. She was to speak of my beloved. Ah, so the flames of rage have yet to be kindled. I fear thy heart's fire has long since gone out. But waste not thy fear on words, brother. You shall have need of it for battle. So go back off. Yeah, sure. I'll let you guys deal it. Yeah. Let's get ready for a death battle! Yeah, this is how much bullshit fucking Nidhogg has. Oh shit, he went Super Saiyan. Oh shit, he went Super Saiyan. Ugh. There was weak Hawkslaughter. A slithering worm who were falling on the vermin. We shall rightly be his prey. For 1,000 years I have fought without cease. And they'll still think to prevail against me? Glory not in the victory shade. The battle is not yet won. My power and my hope I have trusted to another. If you ever know something... Thine eye, what has you done? Ugh, this song. Fool, you also express a mortal with thy strength? I know thee. 'Twas you who didst intrude upon my lair and best half of me. Now I am whole, and not in creation shall deny me my vengeance. I can solve this. It's gonna be a little tough, but I can solve it. Ugh, this song hits hard. Really maggots like they're crying your face within my jaws. Oh wow, he's actually hit pretty hard for me. Hot wig. That's gonna be dead. So the 2 mobs I'm killing right now are the tanks have to take care of it. This one, on the other hand, he has no aggro table, so he goes random. Does whatever the hell it feels like, pretty much. But the thing is, if you get hit by him, your determination down, which your hammer's gonna suck. How's Nidhogg? I hit harder than that. I survived my son, courtesy of thy eyes, Osvalga. Mark. Wow, I took all those high jumps. Good brother has to do with me, but I must meet my end, I shall affirm on the fire from the dust. Let's go. This is gonna hurt. Ugh, that was my heaviest cooldown. My balls. Here, Bomberman. Hot wings. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Ugh. And it gets worse because it increases its pulsing as every time he hits you. It starts off with 4, then it goes to 5, and so forth. It keeps moving roughly. Whew. Look, it's Nightmare from Soul Calibur. Or Resident Evil. I don't know how you want to put it that way, honestly. Stars. So he's William Birkin.
Estinian!
Is this to be mine end? Nay, I will not allow it. I am of the first brood. I am vengeance incarnate. I am Nidhogg. Thou shalt die by my hand. This is not your hand, worm!
Brutal.
Thou wilt obey!
So metal.
I would ask one last favor of you, Warrior of Light. Finish me! Now, while I have the beast subdued!
Nah.
You waste your time! Kill me! It is the only way! Ending Nidhogg will be my final duty!
No! You can't die like this! I won't let you!
Osborne! A stone by mortal will wither now. You got an Nidhogg tie. You.
The eyes! Cast them into the abyss!
We should have went opposite, not the same direction, damn it. Ugh. Bad pomegranates.
He lives. Ah, Estinian, my ill-fated friend. Lucia, summon the healers. I want them ready to receive him.
At once, Lord Commander.
Allow me to do this much, at least. You have my gratitude, Hraesvelga. Your deeds this day have saved a great many lives.
Our alliance has served its purpose. Sorry, I might have missed that one. Don't know wills the power granted. There's only one skill, not nigh high, that earned the victory. First I command is swift recovery. Very well. Show her up, man.
The battle is won. We can do no more for Estinian now than bear him home and wish him well, even as Hraesvelga did. The rest we must trust to the hands of the healers and the grace of the gods.
I didn't notice that there was like a lone guy coming from the freaking front lines. Just the detail of that shit, man. Hey, look, the guy got his ass whooped a little bit. All scarred up, dirtied up. Just details like that is freaking amazing. So this dude's dead. No, he's still alive. Okay, curiosity, where is this guy going? Oh, he just pooped. Oh, he's just buried in the ether. Anyhow, next. Though the haze of pain, I swear I sense, but no, the past is done. And we must look for the future. At long last, Nehug is gone, his foul spirit cast out once and for all. I pray that Stygia survives the ordeal. Your battle with Nehug Shay will beget me an epic ballad, galleon, and rightly so. It was without a doubt one of your most epical victories, though I must admit that I took greater joy seeing you emerge from the experience unscathed. And not only for your own sake, have you not been there to aid me, these infernal eyes would have been fused to Estinian's mail. Yet even with Nidhogg gone, I cannot help wonder how much of our friend remains. Let's pray to visit the Lucia and big news of his condition. Galleon, Master Alphanon, my honored friends, as if winning Hallsolgers to a cause were not enough, you took it to yourselves to rid us of his brood brother. I know not how to thank you. My own contribution was hardly noteworthy. The true savers of the day were Galleon and Stinium. One triumph over Nidhogg shade through strength of arms, and another through strength of will. And speaking of Stinium, what news of his recovery? As your Draco is conveyed to the infirmary, where he now resides until under the care of the hospitaller captain, until he has yet to regain consciousness. As you know, Estinian's mind and body were held hostage for many days. We must be patient and allow the process of healing to begin. In the meantime, you will do well to rest and recover from your own ordeals. But surely, Sir Emek is never long from Estinian's bedside and will send word the moment there is any developments. Now, if I have satisfied your concerns, I believe Edmund and Sons are most eager to celebrate your return. Very well, First Commander. Come on, it does seem that we're awaited at Hong Command. I don't know why people post this shit. I can't even tell because I don't like the fact it says join our Discord channel. It's like I want to report, but I don't know it's legit.
The heroes of the hour return.
Oh, hold on.
We did our duty, my lord. It was the memories of fallen friends and not our heroism which saw us through at the last.
I gave every ounce of my strength, but mine efforts would have counted for naught had the Warrior of Light not arrived to challenge the Great Worm. As a sworn knight of Ishgard, I had hoped to do more for my city.
Well, we cannot all be heroes, dear brother. Let us put away our pride for a moment and revel in the valiant deeds of our comrade. For your sterling service to Ishgard, we salute you. And while we're on the subject of valiant deeds, I believe I myself have earned some small measure of recognition. Under my watchful command, the ballistas of the Outer Ward struck down a veritable swarm of Dravanian invaders.
My lord's command was certainly watchful. He bravely watched as the siege crews took aim, and continued to watch as countless wyverns met their end. Indeed, the ward's defenders proved so well drilled that my lord had little occasion to stop watching.
There will be time enough to determine who is most deserving of recognition later. Our friends are doubtless weary from their exertions. I had chambers prepared in expectation of your return. You are welcome to retire at your leisure.
I am most grateful for your hospitality, my lord, but I believe I shall pay a visit to the Temple Knight's Infirmary. Pray excuse me.
Our master Alphino has grown. The plight of his stricken brother-in-arms pains him more than his own hurts. In which respect he has come to resemble you, warrior of light. Go then, visit the Azure Dragoon, and grant him what comfort you may.
Is that a blue mage? No, it's white. Still there? Jeez. Telling my friend, what can I do to for the savior of Ishgard? You seek Master Elfina? Ah, he came to relieve one of my vigil escort a while ago. I begged to say a stating sack, and I will refuse him. I thought he was soon a fate to admit it. My boy must be exhausted by hell's sloggers try out and not fouled. Stidian is blessed to have such devoted comrades. And this ends the 3.3. My own friends with. Okay. Eating jalapeno poppers, anyone was wondering. Eat popper in my mouth, egg. Ooh, man, that one's really cheesy. My own friendship with Stadium began some 10 years past, shortly after rejoining the Temple Knights. I learned his name soon enough, but Stadium's barely registered my existence. I was less a fellow recruit and more a shadow which occasionally darkened his path. And so I might have remained, however fate not seemed fit to intervene. While on patrol, our company was set upon a dragon and we were the only two to survive. The experience forged a bond between us, as such life-threatening situations are wont to do. Despite our friendship, he remained an intense and solitary youth, wholly obsessed with claiming vengeance against the Nidhogg. Vengeance was ever at the forefront of his mind. Revenge for the death of his parents, and revenge of it for his younger brother. I would venture that if Alphino he sees something of his lost sibling. In the ungentle chidings of Estinian, Alphino has found the elder brother he never had. Truth be told, Estinian's tactless observation has saved me from the disaster more than once. And I can well understand Alphino's affection for him. He is a friend for whom I would gladly. Lord Commander, presence required to the infirmary. Is he? Tell him I'm on my way. Quickly, go. Let's go to him. Yeah. At this point, this is when they start saying, yeah, you're going to have a lot of cutscenes. I'll shut my yap now.
Estinian!
Cease your mewling, boy. It grates my ears.
Forgive me. When I saw you awaken, I could not... It was such a relief. We feared you might never wake up.
Now, Astinian. If Master Alphino thought any less of you, you would still be Nidhogg's plaything. Or dead.
Aye, 'twas but a jest. I thank you, Alphino. And you too, Warrior of Light. Quite how you managed to persuade Hraesvogr to aid in his brood brother's downfall I cannot imagine. But full glad am I that you did. 'Tis an honor to share the mantle of Azure Dragoon with one such as you.
I, for my part, owe you an apology. When last we met, I did willingly loose an arrow at your heart. Can you forgive me?
There is naught to forgive, Hameric. You but acted in defense of Ishgard, as is your duty. Were you any less single-minded about it, I would not follow you into battle, nor trust you at my back. Besides, I had come to the selfsame conclusion, that I would have to perish for Nidhogg to be stopped. So let us dispense with the hand-wringing. I have heard enough mewling for one day.
Oh!
The tendrils of Nidhogg's foul presence bound up every fiber of my being, usurping my senses, but I yet retained some trace of awareness. The worm's mind was as a vast and tumultuous sea. Endlessly its black waters churned, his grief and despair at Ratatoska's murder never calming, never receding. Driven by this surging current came wave upon wave of unrelenting rancor. It was the very image of my own heart. There I saw the dark reflection of the hatred I felt after Nidhogg slew my family, when no path remained save vengeance against dragonkind. Neither one of us had a choice. But I was blessed with something Nidhogg was not. Comrades and teachers to console and admonish me. Had I not had them to gainsay my obsession, it would surely have consumed me as Nidhogg's did him, and we would have been in all respects alike. Though his shade is banished, his spirit scattered upon the sea of clouds, I feel no joy at his passing. Where once I craved vengeance, I now crave rest. Lord Commander, my hunt is at an end. I would lay down the mantle of Azure Dragoon.
My friend.
He has tired himself with too many words. I doubt not that he will make a full recovery, but he must be allowed some few days of quiet.
I too must see my path to its end. Sleep well, my friend.
Following the battle with Nidhogg on the Steps of Faith, Sir Emeric called an assembly that he might make his final proclamation as acting head of state. 'Twas there, with one decree, that the 1,000-year rule of the archbishops was ended, paving the way for a new republic. The governance of Ishgard would now be placed in the hands of high and lowborn alike, their ranks represented by the newly founded House of Lords and House of Commons. Church was separated from state. The foundation for change had been carefully laid, and the reforms proposed by Ishgard's new government passed into law without incident. His duty done, Emeric de Burrell gladly stepped down from the Archbishop's dais, only to be raised unto the highest seat in the House of Lords. Though he strove at first to refuse this honor, the unexpectedly strident voice of the Count de Durandare left him little choice but to accept. And so it was that the winds of gentle revolution came to stir. Prominent among the many honoured guests at Sir Emeric's investiture were the ambassadors of Dragonkind, a fitting symbol of Ishgard's newfound peace. The people looked on in awe as he soared through the heavens on Dragonback, and by their cheers did they hail him an azure dragoon for a new age. Thus were the notes of the dragon song rewritten, the din of war giving way to a rising litany of peace and hope.
It's even more sad seeing this scene because the actor who voiced him passed away recently. Such a fitting ending of Heavenward. I was gazing out at the sea of clouds, and all too rare a moment of idleness, when I chanced to behold a certain hero wending his way toward the city on Dragonback. Welcome home, Galleon. Nah, 'tis no great matter that moved me to greet you in person. Between you and me, I merely sought respite from the pressures of office. No sooner do I surrender my role as temporary head of state than I am burdened with a position of more permanent responsibility. I fancy it echoes in some small measure the way you must feel when your improbable feats of heroism are rewarded with still more impossible challenges. The myth which guided our society for generations lies in tatters, and I am then to be scorned for building upon the system of nobility I once sought to tear down. And what strange essence that places me at a pinnacle, an archbishop bastard at the head of the House of Lords. But there's questions that are for me to answer. It is not man's nature to change overnight. This I learned through a painful experience, and it was this hard lesson which convinced me to take the path which we now follow. Even as we rebuild a bridge between man and dragon, so must we reimagine Ishgard, one carefully placed stone at a time. We must remember that it's not us that we lay the groundwork, but for the men and women that our children will become. May their towers raise proudly from the fundament of our legacy. I hear a word from Captain Whitecave that Estinia has vanished from his sick room. His willfulness arrives undiminished. Should he ever happen upon our unmannerly friend on her travels, pray assure him that I keep Ishgard safe until he designs to come home. Thank you, Galleon, and please convey my warmest regards to Master Alphinaud. You spoke with Sir Amric? I do not envy him his new position. Ishgard has now chosen a new road, one littered with distress of 1,000 years of broken faith. Yet through her people may stumble from time to time. I know of none better than Sir Amric to lead the march of progress. As for us, there remains a small matter of ushering a new dawn in the shadow of inscrutable Ascian machinations and seemingly endless procession of primals. But we too must walk our chosen path, no matter how treacherous the footing. And that ends 3.3. In the wake of Ishgard's governmental reform, new airship routes have been sanctioned. You can now travel a section of distant locales from the landing in Ishgard. And that ends probably New Game Plus in this mode. There we go. Huh. That's not his name. Okay, whatever. They gotta switch his name around. Thank you, Blenner's. Naming it to remain there. We shall rendezvous at the usual place. His name is supposed to be Brandon. But they changed, I don't know. I think they didn't really have a name for these characters at the time being. They're like, yeah, we'll just throw them in there. All is proceeding expected then. There is nothing to concern us, aside from one over a curious mouse. I wonder who that is. Is it Alphanode? This way. Him again. It is of no moment. They will play their part, and we will play ours. And thus did a great mist gave way to azure skies, man and dragon raised above, voices joined in song, but beneath shrouded brows, beyond the scope of light, shadows, stars. Or not. And that's it. That's the end of part 3 of New Game Plus, and that is 3.3 patch. So that was the ending of Heavenward story arc. Now we're on toward to Stormblood. But before I go, so everything is starting to change and such. And I think it was this patch or the last patch we actually got the Moogle. I think it might be this patch. We got the Moogles. And in part of that, we got a storyline of how this area is. Because you help with the Moogles and build the area that has been guarded by the Moogles. Technically, they're like the retainers of this area for the dragons. And throughout this whole storyline, you're building this area. This is all rubble because Nidhogg destroyed this statue, and the Moogles have reformed this place. Unity and brotherhood, now and forevermore. Moslin Gallagher Tazi Desmal. Only the Majesty, Flanche, Morgan, and Gildenbursty. All the people who helped create it. And of course, you get the emotes with the Moogles. You got the dragons, kind of like, hey, this is pretty cool. So it kind of further enhances a man and dragon type deal. I just lose myself in the music, Kupo. So yeah, I just added a bonus if you finish the Moogle storyline, and I think it takes a month to actually complete it all because they revamped how to update your beast tribes in this expansion. Because the old beast tribes, whoo, oh man, they were a doozy. Because the old beast tribes, they literally took about probably a month and a half, because you don't get enough reputation ups over time, as unlike how Heavenward, Stormblood, and so forth. Because I think it's like you do maybe 2 days worth and you're already ranked up on your. I think you start off at like rank 2 and you go to rank 3, and it takes about 5 days after that to get the next rank, and it just accumulate like about a day or 2 extra from the last time you did it. Eventually, it took about like 9 or 10 days or something like that, or 10 and a half days or something like that, because that's how much the reputation was giving you. But from each of the storylines, you actually end up being maxed out, and you do a culmination of all of them together and work together as whatever a common goal it was. Like Realm Reborn, the Beach Tribes in that era, you finish all of it, you got a special quest that accumulates all of them, and apparently there was some guy who's kidnapping every beach tribe in the Realm Reborn arc, and you finally figure out what the hell's going on. Heavenward, same deal almost, something but different. And then Stormblood, well, same villain, comes back, I don't know why. That one, it ends up being a kidnapping thing every freaking time. And it ends up with the same guy. Unfortunately, in Shadowbringers, we never got an allied questline. They said they didn't felt there was a common thing for them this time around. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I think the Beast Tribes were kind of weak in Shadowbringers in some forms. Like, Heavenward, they were good. The Vanu was hilarious. The Voth was really interesting to know about their past. The Mughals was interesting and kind of bridged between the main MSQ. The Realm Reborn ones, they actually kind of culminated together. In Stormblood, you learn more about the Kojin, and Inata was pretty cool. Namazu was freaking super hilarious. But Shadowbringers is like, I think the Dwarves were the best out of the 3. Pixies being second, and the Quatori, or the Ratmen, I feel like that was the weakest out of all 3 of them. And when I say weakest, I feel like it was like a... If there was another Beast Rise, I would put it all the way in the end. That's how big of a difference between the other 2. It's like if... out of 3, I would put this like a 7 for the Quatori. That's how bad I was kind of like disappointed with the storyline. I'm like, they gave you options, like, you know, it's like, oh, what happened in their story? You know, you were creating a story pretty much for them. But, I don't know. It just, it felt really weak. But there was no allied beast tribes for this one. They could have, maybe? I don't know. If anything, I would say, like, somewhere along the line they mixed with Ilmor and Crystarium working together, you know, building a better future, but they kind of already did that in the main storyline, so I don't know. So, that was a little history lesson. That's it for this episode. Next, we'll go part 4 of Heavenward New Game Plus, and we'll be heading on to 3.4 and 3.5 story arc. So,